All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 880. We're happy to have all of you here on this beautiful Wednesday evening. We are going to go ahead and do Study Tips Wednesday. It's going to be a great night. Brandy's going to give you those study tips to help you excel at studying. By the way, my name is Andy, the guy in the echo chamber. I am out here in Montana. I am attending to some family business as Brandy is still back in California, holding down the fort.
That's right.
And getting this thing done. We are so happy to have all of you here. Who's Brandy? She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know so that way you too can get a pass notice. And tonight we are going to do just that because we are going to help you excel at your studying skills. We're going to give you those study tips. Guys, so many times people ask, or maybe you're asking, how do I study better? Like, I've done everything. I've tried everything. I feel like nothing's staying in my brain. Like I feel like it goes in my eye sockets and out of my ears, and it's just not staying in the middle. Have you ever felt like that? It's just like, man, what is going on here? Guys,
Yeah.
there's no simple answer for that, right, Brandy?
Yes, there is. No, there's
Is
not.
there? No, there's
I
not.
don't.
There's no.
No.
It's just, but we're going to show you how to do it. And we go over it extensively in our members area. By the way, this is our free session at 30 in 30 minutes. And if you like more, we got a whole members area in which you can tap into and get that done. And in a minute, Brandy's going to throw up that QR code on the screen. Just scan it, hit the links in the chat, join us. If you're on YouTube, please scan the code. And better yet, subscribe and get those notifications. And we thank you guys for spreading the word of Kona. If this is our free, go ahead and spread. Let people know that we are doing this for free and we help out people even to study. Yep, that's it. But if you want more in-depth studying, if you want some content that we do, course material, audios, videos, we got our study guides. We do have content that does come with the study guides. So check that out. We also have tutoring options with that, those different sessions that we do, the 21-day plan or the academy. The academy starts over next week on April 2nd. So we will be starting over on the content. So if you want to get in on that guided program, next week we'll be starting it all over again. But the 21-day, great news, you can start today, get that stuff done, because we got course videos and audios all ready for you to do at any given time, anywhere, so you could be in like Montana, in Kalispell, Montana.
Yep.
Flathead Lake. That's where I'm at. So if you guys want to know where that's at, tonight I'm in Flathead Lake. But yeah, see, you can do this anywhere. We're on the internet, right?
Yep.
And you can get your study on. Don't have any excuses. So if you're on spring break with your kids or what you have you, or maybe you're doing your own personal spring break, get it done. We literally had a student last year. She started exactly when spring break started, right when her kids got out of school, and ended exactly when spring break ended that 1 week. She knocked
Yep.
out the SIE, studied, and just took the test, passed it. And her kids were like, they're out with dad. Dad took over, mom stayed home and studied, got the SIE done. You might have the same situation. You can do the same thing. All right. So if you want to get in all that, just check that QR code and hit the links. We got the study guides. Like I said, we got the Kona community, the Discord. Check it out. Guys, if you need help with stuff, you want questions answered, go on to the Discord, the Kona community, post questions up there. Brandy will help you out. She was very active tonight, got it all done. And even though she was stuck on the side of the road because the gas pedal stopped working, and I was literally fixing the truck over the phone to our
Yep.
16-year-old son, he
Yep.
still answered Discord questions. Instagram, we got the Telegram, all there, 951-290-3077. But if you give me a call or text this week, I probably won't get to you on till Monday, or I'll be very slow to respond. Got a lot going on, as I said. But still, give me shoot me a text or give me a voicemail. I'll put you on the docket.
Yes.
All right. What do we got tomorrow, Brandy? That's right. On this week, we do a lot of techniques. We do strategies. We're going to be answering questions from our members. Tomorrow it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or if you're in Mountain like I am, 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Central, or 1 p.m. in the East. Be sure to be there. Brandy will have all that great stuff for you tomorrow. Right?
Ooh. Yep. Yes, I
All
will.
members, all exams.
Yep.
All right, let's get ready to rumble.
All right.
It is Study Tips Wednesday, Brandy. So how are we going to do this?
So I am okay. So where I came up with this idea is that back in the day when we used to do our Friday studying brews, that we used to do study tips every Friday. And I was like, okay, it's been a minute, and every once in a while we bring it back. I mean, I thought, you know what? It's the end of the month. For a lot of us, we're on spring break, or your kids are on spring break, or it's just that time of the year where people feel like they're on break, right? And we're not having the studying brew tomorrow night. So I don't see you guys again until Monday. And I thought, what better way than to do study tips tonight? Especially because I was active on the message board today. And I was like, you know what? We should just do study tips. I feel like that is probably what we should focus on at this point in our Studying Brew 880 episodes.
As I so eloquently did 2 times in a row. But people watching this on the replay won't see me mess that up. But we will not have the studying brew tomorrow night. Good call, Brandi. Good call.
You got
I
it.
forgot about that. Yeah.
All right,
Missed
guys.
it in my notes.
Yes. All right, guys. That's how often we don't cancel our studying brews, is that when it is like when we're not having a studying brew, it's very weird. It's not in our normal. So all okay, guys. All okay. All right. So let's talk about some study tips, right? So I wrote some things down that we typically talk about when we're with our members, but just any time in general. And guys, honestly, this applies to these securities licenses. This applies to each of your securities licenses, not just the first one, but all of them, right? Every time you pass one and you have to go on to the next one, you start this over again. But this applies to anything that you're studying for, like I'm going to say like professional scale, right? Not the course that not your typical like high school or college courses, but like if you have to take a big exam for something, this is perfect for that. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is you got to put studying on your calendar. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I just know when I need to study. I just know when I need to study. That might have worked when you were younger, like in high school, but it doesn't work as well when we're adults. Why? Because life, period. Because life, period. You know, I'm here in California. And so, you know, you think that, oh, I got one Zoom in the morning and one Zoom at night, and we're going to do this one thing with the kids. No, man, it's like driving Miss Daisy, but I have 3 teenagers, right? So things that I intended to get done during this week aren't necessarily getting done because of life, right? Um, Other things happen, right? Last minute appointments that you have to go on. A client calls with a last minute thing. Like there's so many different things that get in our way of our mind calendar, right? So because our mind calendar is here, guys, we have to put it on our actual calendar. I use both a paper calendar. I know I'm weird. I use a paper calendar for my to-dos, but I use the electronic calendar for like reminders. Plus, everybody in my family knows what's going on because it's on my calendar. Oh, mom's studying right now. Don't bug her. Bug Andy instead. Right? That's literally what it's for. So I use, like I said, I use paper for my tasks. That's what I do. This is what Brandi does, right? Some people can be all digital, some people have to be all paper, but I use the electronic one, you know, the Apple one or the Google one. I use this for reminders, time, and I'm just gonna put on here everyone else. Right? My family has access to my calendar. And when I mean my family, I'm not talking about just Andy and the kids. I'm talking about my mom, my sister, my nieces. Like they all have access to my calendar. So when they say, hey, can you go to dinner tonight? I don't know what does the calendar say. Right? Oh, I'm studying. No, I can't go to dinner tonight. Go away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not like
That
that.
actually happened today. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, let me check Brandi's calendar. Oh, it's
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, I guess Brandi is actually busy. No, I'm kidding, guys. All right. So the other thing is, the other thing we want you guys to do is that when you're studying, be intentional about what you're going to do during that studying time. So be intentional with your time. All right. Don't just, I mean, yeah, you know, you know how you organize, but have a plan when you go to get your study session in. When I am going to study from midnight to 1 a.m., I'm going to take a full quiz. When I'm going to study from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., I'm going to review that quiz. That's crazy. That's a short amount of hours, but you guys see where I'm going with this, right? When I'm going to study during my lunch break, I'm going to watch this video. I'm going to read these pages. I'm going to take these quizzes, right? Be intentional. Have a plan, right? Have a plan for your session. Okay. For your session, right? Now, the other thing I'm going to say is this. Not everybody has the luxury of studying 1 to 2 to 3 hours solid a day. Everybody recommends, 1 to 2 to 3 hours a day of studying. And for a lot of us, we're like, how? When? What? Like I'm barely getting things done now. And you want to add 2 hours to my time? What?
Yes, yeah. Today, someone actually sent me their whole work schedule. They're like, "This is what I do. At 4:30 a.m., I'm getting on a ferry, and then I get to work around 6 or 7. Then I'm there till like 2, and then I'm taking a ferry home. Then I'm like, studying, maybe, and then I got kid stuff, and I got mom stuff, and then I start my day over again. How,
Yeah.
I'm really gonna have to struggle to fit this in, and it's not a struggle. It's not a struggle. You're gonna have to maybe put a video on or listen to an audio while you're commuting, right? Luckily, this person's on a ferry. I don't know if they get seasick, but they can listen. You can listen, guys. I had a truck driver who passed their SIE, their six, their 63, and their 26. Never, ever, ever really sat down and watched the videos. Only just listened to them. Just didn't listen to him while he was driving around all day long. Listen to it again. Listen to the course again. Listen to it again. Listen to it again. Listened again. Listened to it again. Looked at the keywords in the study guide. Took his quizzes when he got home. Took some notes. All right, need to listen to that video again. And then literally passed all his exams that way while he
Yep.
was driving. Didn't watch a video. Didn't take notes. Took the notes later.
Yeah. And when you guys are doing your audios and videos while you're doing other things, you're collapsing your time frame. You're getting in those 2 hours of studying and you're doing other things, riding the ferry, driving a truck, driving in your car, right? Cooking dinner, all of these things. And don't even tell me you guys can't do it. Most of you are listening either to music, watching TV, or listening to TV, or listening to podcasts while you're doing other things. Put me in your ear instead. Just saying. All right.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, the other thing about prioritizing or the 1 to 2 to 3 hours a day is that it's okay to split up your time. What? Yes, it's
What?
okay to split your time. And you're like, what the heck? What does that even mean? Guys, when I was studying, what I would do is, you'd have your day, right? You get up at 6 a.m., you have all of your full day, right? Well, at midnight is when it was the only time I had to focus. Okay. Now, look, I'm going to be real with you guys. Not a night person. Not a night person. I have ADHD, so my brain is busy all day, like all day. And so by the time nighttime happens, my brain is exhausted. Okay. So what would happen is though, but this was the only time I could actually focus time was down here at midnight because the kids were in bed and things were set, the house was settled, everything was great. Like I could focus, right? But I'm impatient and I'm tired. So this was only 1 to 2 hours. And I'm talking about even the 3-hour tests. I literally would only focus 1 to 2 hours. But to make up for that, I was doing 10 questions randomly throughout my day. 10 questions randomly throughout my day, waiting for a meeting to start, waiting in a drive-through line, waiting to pick up the kids, waiting while the kids were doing their homework, while the kids were playing at the park, while other parents were sitting on social media, I was taking quizzes. Did I feel guilty? Heck yeah, the mom guilt was there. But the mindset. I knew this license was going to change my life. So if I wasn't fully engaged watching my child at every single second while they played on the living room floor with their dolls, but I was taking a quiz, I knew it was going to change everything for the better. 10 question quizzes, 10 question quizzes. Guys, before you know it, I was getting 200 questions done a day, and I was only focused for an hour. You could do that. You could study during lunchtime. You can do 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. If you are blessed and have a straight 2 hours, I would still kind of break it up like this. So that way you're kind of taking little mini breaks in between here. You know what I mean? Like, you guys, you, and you might have to like work a little bit at this. You might have to be a little bit more intentional with your time. You might have to do what's called, it's called like an inventory, like a time inventory. Like, where are you spending your time? What are you doing? Right? A lot of us don't want to admit that we waste a lot of time. Did I just hit something? A lot of us don't want to admit it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, how many lunches do you need to have with Judith at work? I mean, seriously, the situation at home is not getting any better. She keeps doing the same thing with the same boyfriend. You heard it a million times. Just tell Judith you got to go study. You know what I mean? It just happens that way. I mean, it's cruel, but you know, sometimes you got to say, you know, I got to go study.
Exactly.
And you know, next thing you know, it's good. By the way, helpful hint: if you were going to do quizzes while your kids are on the swing, please look up once in a while to make sure they're still on the swing and you're not pushing an empty swing.
Who did that? Nobody did that.
Just checking.
Okay. Just kidding. My kids were always in the swings. All right. And yes, I did push my kids on swings while I was taking a quiz.
Yes, you did. I have a lot of pictures of her doing quizzes while she was like actually pushing the kids on swings.
Here's the thing, guys. You guys might be thinking, well, but what are you getting out of that 10 question quiz? A lot. Because when you're in a relaxed state of mind, you're able to connect things differently. Why do you think we have shower thoughts? Why do you think we have driving thoughts? It's because we're at a relaxed state. Our mind's at a relaxed state, and we're connecting and we're reflecting. We're doing all this stuff. Happens in these 10 question quizzes too. Oh my gosh, we had a couple of pastors that went through this, and this is what they would say: never underestimate the power of a 10 question quiz. Just saying, never underestimate the power of a 10 question quiz. These should take you less than 10 minutes anyways. Right?
Look, and if you're a person who's going, oh, this is overwhelming, I'm just going to save it for the last week. I got through college and I crammed the whole entire week. You're adding the possibility of you passing. The possibility is a lot less.
Yes.
The possibility is just not as easy as if you would have put the work in for a good month. You know, 3 weeks, solid, doing the quizzes. We're looking at content, just working the program. You really put yourself in a bind when you really just try to cram and do stuff, or you try to shortcut this process out.
Exactly. You guys want to collapse your time frames? Do your why wrong. A lot of us will take a quiz, 10 question quiz, full quiz, it doesn't matter. And we'll get a 40%, and we'll accept that 40%, and we'll say, all right, I need to go read more. Or I got to watch again. Or I got to listen again. Or worse is this: no good. And you only got through the content one time and you took one quiz. Guys, do not do that. Don't do that. If you got a 40 question quiz and you're not going back and looking at why you got the answers wrong, you're missing huge opportunities. First of all, you're only 30% away from a pass. Number one, you're only 30% away from a pass. Secondly, why wrong teaches you so much. Now, when we're with our members, we go deep into the why wrong, but the why wrong teaches you how you quiz, and it also teaches you what you need to focus on. What you need to focus on. So many times, it's not the content that's getting us down. It's because you read too fast. Like our truck driver, he probably couldn't go back and quiz a bunch of times, so he had to repeat the content. Does that make sense? I never asked him, but I bet you while he was stopped and while he was eating lunch, he was taking quizzes. Guys, I filled my entire day with 10 question drills in between doing other things. I still had a life. I was still building a business. I was still meeting with people. I was still doing all of these things, but I was 10 question drilling. And then at night, I would go do my focus full quiz. That's what I would do. All right. So when we talk about our full quizzes are the amount of questions that you have for your exam, right? So on your SIE, right? On your SIE, it's going to be you're scored on 75 questions, but the total exam is 85 questions total. Every exam has 5 to 10 questions built in. That's extra. If you're studying for your series 6, you have 50 questions or 55 total. The 63 is 60 questions or 65 total. The series 7 is 125 questions or 135 total. The 66 is 100 questions and 110 total. 26, 120 questions or 130 total. No, wrong. 110 questions for 120 total. And then the 65 is 130 questions, 140 questions total, right? So when I would take my full quizzes, guys, I would always hit that total amount. I wouldn't even take the questions that like, I wouldn't take the 75, I'd take the 85, right? Because sometimes seeing 1 out of 85 is shocking on your test. So I would do that, right? I would just take it right there. Now, I'm a person who did answers on. I had no time, no patience to go back and review that quiz. So I did it in the moment. And I did it in 2 hours. And the reason why I did it that way is because I had no time to overthink. And that's why I did it. It's not because I'm a testing genius, because trust me when I say not a testing genius. In fact, was horrible at tests, but I did it out of, how do I want to say? When there's a will, there's a way. I wanted to go to bed. I'm going to be real. I'm just going to put it out there. I wanted to go to bed, so I did it fast. And that's it. And then did I score 80s and 90s on my full quizzes? No, I did not. I was in my mid to high 60s once I got up there. Like once I worked my way up, that's what I got up to. Rarely passed. Now, the other thing I want to say, guys, there's one more piece that's vital that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about the why wrong. That's vital. The other vital piece is notes. I took notes on my wrong questions, or if I got a question, like if I guessed on a question or I got the question on a technique, I took a note on why. Oh, well, let me just put it on the connection, right? They were very short and I focused on the connection. I didn't focus on the definition. I very rarely read those explanations because those explanations were more confusing than anything else. So what I would do is when I'm doing my why did I get this question wrong? What I would do is go, oh, this connects to this. That's it. This connects to this. I did no full sentences. Oops. No full sentences. I did no rewriting of the question and or answers. No rewriting of the question, the answer choices, or the explanation. Guys, I never rewrote that stuff. One of the people early on when I was studying, she had this beautiful, beautiful notebook that she handed me. And she goes, I took notes on my quiz. And I was like, first of all, your writing is phenomenal. It's beautiful. Second of all, that's the whole test. And she's like, yeah. I go, no, that's literally you hand wrote the entire test, the entire quiz. And she's like, yeah. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah, this is where I call my painting the full house over again. Look, if you painted the full house and you missed a spot here and there, so what are you going to do? Just go back and paint the whole house again because you missed those 2 spots? Guaranteed you're probably going to miss those 2 spots on the third, fourth time you paint that house over again. Instead of, why don't you just go back and just touch up in those areas, those little spots that you missed, and not have to repaint the entire house? In other words, don't write out the whole another quiz, all of the questions, all of the answers. Why don't we just focus on the ones that we got wrong? And then we go back and look why wrong. And then we make notes on how do we not get that wrong again? And where did we miss the connection? Oh, I didn't know that Comstock had those characteristics. Oh, I did not know that, Roths worked that way. You know what I mean? The few little words in there that are already highlighted in the study guide that is available if you scan the QR code on the screen or hit the links in the chat, and
Yes.
you go ahead and get those keywords. So if you're wondering, they are available.
Yes.
Right, Brandi?
Yes, absolutely. Guys, this right here is it. This is the tedious work that nobody teaches you. They will tell you, get a 40%, reread the book. Get a 50%, go reread the book. Go rewatch the videos. No, to me, guys, my whole entire program is based on you knowing how to read the question. I knew the content. I knew the content. You ask me any question and I'm able to answer it. Tell me why I failed my 26 3 times. Tell me why. Because I wasn't taking a test. I wasn't trying to pass a multiple choice test. I was testing my knowledge. And guys, a multiple choice test is more about how you read the question and how you work the question, less about testing your knowledge. That is why people can reread and reread and reread and reread and reread. That's why some people can study for years and years and years and years and years and still not pass these tests. It has nothing to do with your knowledge of the content and everything to do with how are you connecting the key words in a multiple choice question. That's what we do on Mondays. That's what we do on Tuesdays. And that's what we normally do on Thursdays. Connecting, passing these quizzes, looking at these questions differently so you can pass these quizzes.
Yeah, what you just said about these passing the exam and people always looking for it to be a content test and what their knowledge on the content is the number one reason most of these people struggle and they can't get a pass notice, is because they're not seeing that it is more of how you read these questions and how it's asked, and the ability to look through all the smoke and mirrors and just pick the one that relates to it. That's really what it is, guys. You're approaching it way wrong if you're trying to make this a content type of exam. It is going to be 10 times more difficult. It is going to be more difficult. You're going to have to do way more study. You're going to have to do way more unnecessary memorization. You're going to have to do all of that stuff. And for what? And
Right.
do you think you're going to have the stamina to go through another 4 exams that way? It's going to be tough. When people tell me that's what they did anyway, and they get a pass notice, and they're like, well, that's what worked. And then guess what? It takes them still another half a year to a year to get the next one.
Yes.
That's the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the struggle. Just look at the keywords. Just look at the keywords. Listen to what we're saying here and look at what these exams and why you're missing the connection. That's it.
That connect.
It really is. You see me on here answering questions. I have no idea what the heck Brandi's talking about or what she's even picked for the questions. I have no idea what the answers are in advance. I have no time to even get that knowledge before. Look at how we are so discombobulated even tonight. Do you think there's meetings about this stuff, about the quizzes? No, there's not. I go strictly on what I see on the screen as if I am you.
Yeah.
And I get them right because I'm not thinking.
Nope.
I'm not thinking at all. I know it sounds crazy, but dude, I'm not thinking.
No.
I'm not. I'm just looking at the words and what they just mean to me, like what they say, and I'm just going, that's probably it. No more other thought.
Yep.
So don't make it harder on yourself than necessary. Keep it simple.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, that does it. That's the Study Tips Wednesday. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. Good news is I'll be back in the same state as Brandi next week when we come back with the Studying Brew. This is our last Studying Brew of the week. We will not be on Thursday, tomorrow. What's the date tomorrow? The 28th of 3rd, the March 28th. We will not be on. If you're watching this on the replay, we will be back next month.
No.
right?
Yes. Wait. Yes. Next month, April 1st.
Yeah. No fooling. We'll be back on April 1st. Anyways. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. And keep that positive mental attitude. PMA. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you guys so much for being on. Guys, remember, put in the work. Somebody once said, if you put in the work, the tests are easier, right? Guys, practice that while you going through the weekend, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great one, guys.